Hello and welcome everyone to the Global Meditation with the Alchemy Collective Consciousness. The Alchemy Collective Consciousness is a group of light beings who come across time and space to support a planet and its people at the time of awakening. They speak through our channel Ana-La-Rai and have been co-creating with us for 11 years now. My name is Christian, and I am part of the human ground crew who support the Alchemy Collective Consciousness. The other members of our ground crew are Ana-La-Rai. We are on Vancouver Island in Canada. Sa'arala is in Florida. Paula is in Montana. And Maria is in Germany. The ground crew all donate our time in divine service to the planet, but we do have 3D costs to cover, like our website and more. Any donations you would care to make to the Alchemy Collective Consciousness would be most appreciated and go towards covering our expenses. To do so, please go to our website, thealchemycollective.org, and look for the yellow donate button. Thank you very much. And thank you for joining us today and enjoy the meditation. And I pass you on to Ana-La-Rai.
Thank you, Christian. And before we get started, a very happy birthday to one of our ground crew members. Paula will be celebrating her birthday this week. And so happy birthday, Paula. All right, I'd also like to say welcome to Giselle and Ludmilla and Rajdaspati, Retha, Ali, Carl, Joanne, Araciel, and Sarah. Very glad to have you here today. So let's get started by getting connected to the light and just feel their sense as we bring in that pure source light. And as you hear me yawning, it's the energies rising. Just feel as that pure source light comes into your body. And we're going to ask everybody to align. Just get consciously connected to your highest self. You're always connected, but beautiful. All right. And just before we get started, up on our screen there, as some of you are still coming in and getting connected, we would just like to invite you to join us in September. We're doing, as I can hardly believe this as I say it, our 20th gathering. Our 20th gathering is this September in person at Deerhurst Resort in the area called Muskoka. It is about 2 hours north of Toronto. And that's a picture of the resort. It's quite large. It's on over 800 acres. It's on a lake. I used to work there many years ago, and it will be in the fall when the color is usually at its height. And so it is, and the difference with this gathering than all the rest is that the alchemy has left the energies open from the gathering we did in April, the online gathering. And that is why, because the energies are open from the gathering, that is why we are able to do what we're working on last week and this week and the week before. So 2 weeks ago, on the 30th of April, they brought in the codes of hope. And if you haven't seen it, it is on our website, thealchemycollective.org, and on our Facebook page. You're welcome to adjust it. And someone's saying they can't see the picture. That's on your end because it's showing up here. So different phones and iPads or tablets and everything have different things they'll show on their screen. So, so because they've left the energies open from the gathering, and that we're holding and moving into this energy, this gathering, it allows us to do what we did last week. And so today is going to be part 2. So part 2 of the angelic healing grid. So if you haven't listened to last week, you're welcome to stay, but it might be a little bit confusing. The alchemy are pretty good at bridging things. So last week, what happened is they shared that there was an energetic opportunity where they could bring in and start the process of a new, what they're calling the angelic healing grid. They've asked everyone to not share information about it yet publicly. You're welcome to tell people you know, but to not share publicly until it is completed. Which will be in 4 to 6 weeks. And those of you that, is there anyone, raise your hand, who has not listened to the first recording last week or wasn't with us live? Okay, just a couple of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're welcome to stay on, but we are jumping in at part 2, okay? At part 2. And so what happened is the alchemy and first light and the 100,000 Terra crystal angels came through. We were able to utilize the gathering energies because they never closed them down. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to do this. And what's going to happen again today is we're moving into part 2. And you're going to be asked to return to the same place of nature that you were last week. Okay. And those of you that agreed to be anchors last week, it's a reminder that 5 minutes a day to sit in the stillness and let the energy flow through to you. And if you agreed to be an anchor for the 4 or 6 weeks of creation, that you agreed also to listen within 48 hours to the next recording if you weren't with us live. All right. So that's kind of a real quick overview. But if you're with us today and you weren't with us or haven't listened to the recording last week, you're welcome to stay. But I would really suggest that you go back and listen to that. Okay. Okay, so before we get started, which questions, does anyone have questions from last week? Which questions and how has it been for you if you are an anchor? So if you are not, if you don't have time or didn't agree to be an anchor, you can still be part of this. You're still part of the co-creation. So anyone have questions, just write them in before we get started. Questions or comments? And welcome Maria A. and Hannah. Okay, so if I'm disappearing and coming back in, that's got to be on your end. I've got touched nothing here. So, so it might be the strength of your internet connection right now. I'm not certain. All right, anybody have any questions from last week? How many of you, if you want to raise your hand, how many of you have felt the energies running each day as you filled up and then release for the angelic grid, the angelic healing grid? Okay. Excellent. 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 Okay. Other people are saying that the audio is working perfectly on their side. So, all right. And even if you're not feeling it, just know that it is happening when you have agreed to be part of this. So, all right. So let me just bring the alchemy through. Is there a problem if I forgot to do the 5 minutes because I was very busy? Any problem? Well, if you forgot every day, it means the energy didn't go into the grid, and that would be kind of hard on your system. So if you forgot once, it's not a big deal, but we're hoping that people can remember the 5 minutes. It's not long, it's only 5 minutes. Either do it when you first get up or bedtime or set a timer. But what you're doing is you're being filled up because if you've agreed to be an anchor, you're being filled up with this energy and it needs to go into the grids. So you need to release it once a day. Do I need to call the light being that was with me to go daily download to CC Earth? I don't know what the CC means. Can you let me know? All right. Do you need to call on the angelic being? So basically, an angelic being came on your golden disc with everyone. No, you don't have to. Okay. You can if you wish, but you don't have to because they help set you up as an anchor. Okay. All right. So just see before you now a beautiful golden disc. It's larger than a dinner plate, and it's the Alchemy's travel disc. And as you step upon it, feel as it brings you up, up, up to the Alchemy's field. And here you'll see this beautiful field with large trees on either side and wild flowers and beautiful grasses. And as you look down the field, you'll see this magnificent crystal. It's larger than an old oak tree. It is quartz-like in color and texture. Oof. And it is the Alchemy's home crystal. Their home crystal, their portal. And so we're going to ask everyone to either walk down the field or travel on your golden disc and go around the crystal. And I'm just going to bring the alchemy through now. Greetings, beloved ones. We are the alchemy, and it is our pleasure to be present with you this day. See or feel now as we call forth on Ana-La-Rai, Christian, Karila, and Mother Gaia to step into the crystal. For we run our energies through these four, two in human form and two in light being form at these moments. And see or feel now as four different colored rays or ribbons, purple, blue, platinum, and green come down, and they braid as they enter each of them, as they enter Ana-La-Rai, Christian, Karila, and Mother Gaia. And see or feel now as Ana-La-Rai sends to the braided four colored ribbons from her heart to yours as we begin the process of creating the group heart. And feel now as Christian sends the same four colored braided ribbon from his heart to yours, and it moves through your human body and out the back, and it wraps around this whole group, whether you are with us live or listening to the recording, until it connects in once again to the back of your heart, Beautiful. And see or feel now as Karila sends the same four-colored ray or ribbon to your heart, as does Mother Gaia. And just feel as we send love and light to each of you through these braids. And joining you once again on your golden disc is the same angelic being, as last week, the same ascended master or enlightened one, and the same whale or star whale or dolphin. And you will feel the presence of the 100,000 Terra crystal angels as they hold the beginning stages of this angelic healing grid. And as you may remember that many, many beings of light have come forward and surround all of you here, in addition to the ones that are always present around the alchemy crystal. And just feel all this love and support coming to you. And feel now as we begin to run the diamond lights, the white, pink, the golden, the aqua, and they come down. These are what you refer to as the next level of ascension energies. They come down and flow through you and into your human body. They all carry the next wave of ascension energies, the codes of remembrance of who you are on all levels. The white is the base diamond light. The pink supports the human body. The golden is for healing. And the aqua is for sovereignty. And just receive those. And we remind you that you can call on these, and we highly recommend you call on these every day, twice a day, once at bedtime, up to 60 consecutive minutes. And you do not have to stay awake at bedtime. You may simply call on them. And these diamond lights will support your remembrance, will support you as these new frequencies continue to bathe your planet. Beautiful, beloved ones, beautiful. And just receive. And we're going to ask you now to travel on your golden disc to the same country you visited last session, whether you listened to the recording or were live with us. Travel to a country with the first letter of your first name. Ana-La-Rai will take the Arctic and Christian the Antarctic, as always. If you want to write in, you're keeping the same. If you have already done the meditation last week, we ask you to take the same country and go to the same place of nature. You can write it in and we will read them. Not your names, just the countries. You are going these weeks to the exact same place. So we have Kenya, Jordan, Lebanon, Ghana, Peru, Madagascar, New Caledonia, Switzerland, Canada, Denmark, Korea, South Africa, Uzbekistan, Mexico, England. And some of you chose ones as you came in that were different. That is fine. Just let us know what they are. Brazil, Eritrea, Venezuela, Sweden. And those listening to this recording, again, you do go to the same country, and Aruba, Russia. And if you were listening to the first recording, you always want to try and pick a country that was not already called, if possible. And if they were all called that start with your first initial of your first name, then choose a country that was not called. But you're going to keep the same country for each of these meditations regarding the creation of this angelic healing grid. And so feel now, as you come down in this place of nature, we asked you to consciously connect to the earth energies. You connect to the earth and feel now as your feet are touched by the beginning of the angelic healing grid, by the white threads left last week. So it is not yet a grid, but there is the energy in place, the beginnings, and feel as those now connect with the bottoms of your feet. Greetings, beloved ones. We are First Light, and it is our honor to be here with you this day as this process continues. We overlight the Alchemy Collective Consciousness, and we simply step in here in this moment to welcome you and tell you of the importance of this co-creation. And whether you are listening here with us live on May 14th, or you are listening to this recording, know that your energies are being added to this grid. And it is a time on your planet when many new things are happening. The energies are such that so much is changing, and we invite you to watch for the changes and not to be attached with how you think it should look, what you think should happen. And we ask you, and we thank those of you who have agreed to be an anchor. And what that means is for these next 4 to 6 weeks while this grid is completed, that each day you would Sit for 5 minutes in the silence and allow the energies that have stored up for the grid to be emptied through you. It is like you are a glass or a vessel being filled up 24 hours, and then at one point you open the spigot, so to speak, and you allow the energies to flow into the earth for Karila to create, and Mother Gaia to create this new angelic healing grid. As we said previously, it will be connected to the unity grid, but separate from it, distinct from it. And all of those of you who are taking part in the creation process, your human bodies will have a stronger resonance with the healing grid. And in simple terms, that means that utilizing the healing grid will be easier and faster for you. Easier and faster for you. And so, beloved ones, feel now as more threads of white light, more threads of white light come down from source, and they enter your crown chakra, and they enter in your heart, and they begin to flow into your body, and we always fill you up first. And as these threads, whether you are just doing this week or you are one of the anchors and have been receiving every day, these white threads of light flow through you and out your feet and into the grid, into the earth areas to form the grid. It is connecting with the energies that were created last week with the white light and the threads that were deposited last week and all this week. And so we are going to move into the silence for 20 of your minutes. Yes, 20 minutes, because the more that we can bring through you, the better. And we ask you not to be on your devices and checking the Facebook and doing other things in this 20 minutes. This is a very significant download into the earth, and we would ask you to stay and be with us as long as you can give us 20 minutes of your undivided attention. You are not writing, you are not on devices. You may lay down if you wish. You may stay seated if you wish. You may stand if you wish. But we simply require 20 minutes of uninterrupted time to allow this to happen. Are there any questions before we begin? So these white threads of light from source are coming down again. They are going to enter your heart and crown chakra. They are going to move through your body and down out through your feet in this place of nature into the earth. And they will connect with what was already created. We are going to move into the silence and allow this to happen for 20 of your human minutes. And we ask you to stay attentive. You may fall asleep, that is fine, but to stay not doing other things, especially not electronics. So if you were not here last week, it is important that you listen to last week. We have asked you to pick a country a place of nature that begins with your first name and the first initial of your first name. And mm, you are allowing these energies to simply flow into the earth, not into the unity grids, simply into the earth below your feet, where it will connect with the energies that were brought in last week. And then we ask you to go back and listen to last week's as well. All right, beloved ones, we start now. We will move into 20 minutes of silence as we begin this download now. It will be quite strong. It will be quite strong, stronger than last week, because the more we can get into place, the better. And we begin now. And so, beloved ones, the 20 minutes of download is now complete. And you may return now on your golden disc to the Alchemy's home crystal. And for those of you with us for the first time who were not with us last week, we are still happy to have you commit to being an anchor, should you wish. And that will be for the next few weeks. We are uncertain at this moment how long, whether it will take us 4 or 6 weeks to download all of the energies. It really depends on the number of people who come forward as anchors and who join us on our global meditations. So if you would like to be an anchor, and we hope those of you that said yes last time will continue to be so, then we ask you to sit 5 minutes per day in the silence and allow the energy that is running through you, for it will run through you in a small amount 24/7, the same white light, these threads of white light. And 5 minutes a day, whether it be at bedtime or some other time, you will just allow in the silence for the energy to release into the earth grids, into the earth energies, for the grids are not yet formed. And once we have enough of this white light built up in the earth in the next weeks, then we will, with the Terra Crystal Angels, this new angelic healing grid will be formed. But right now we are just layering in the energies that will be required. Once it is formed and completed, then you will be able to share about it far and wide, and we will teach you or share with you how to utilize it. The intention at this moment is this angelic healing grid will support each of you in your physical, mental, and emotional healing journeys, and it will be accessible to everyone, and it will accelerate or quicken the healing processes. It does not mean it would, some people might have overnight results, but it will be designed that it will grow stronger as we move forward in the higher vibrations. Beautiful. And if you want to be an anchor, beautiful. We love this. We would ask you to go back and listen to last week. You will keep the same location that you did today for all of your times. And if you're going to be an anchor, if you cannot be with us live each Tuesday in these next week, we ask you to commit to listening to the recording within 48 hours so that everyone is in the same level of alignment and energies. So yes, those of you requesting, we are happy to have you be anchors. And there is no obligation to everyone else. You don't have to be one, but we are happy to have you to be an anchor and to support this next shift here on planet Earth. And so, beloved ones, once again, we share with you that this is possible because of the changing energies, and also because we have left open the energies of the Alchemy Gathering, our 19th gathering that was in April online. We have never in all of our 11 years left gathering energies open, but 2024 is a year quite unlike any other. And we hope that you will consider joining us in Muskoka in northern Ontario for our 20th gathering, September, for 5 days. At this point, we do not anticipate that there will be an online option. It will only be in person. All right, and another saying they would most like to be an anchor and will listen to the meditations. Beautiful. We thank you, beloveds. We thank you. And you are welcome to share or invite other people that you know and trust to be a part of this process, but we are not putting it out publicly, so to speak, far and wide until it is completed. Until it is completed. And so, beloved ones, we return you to Ana-La-Rai and to the alchemy. We are first light. And so, feel now, everyone, as the alchemy gently and slowly begins to dissolve this group heart. And we ask Christian to release and gently dissolve the blue ray, the blue, the gold, the platinum, and the purple ray, creating the group heart. And feel now as Mother Gaia and Kare-La also release their connections to you. And I'm releasing mine. The Ascended Master embraces you and says they will be with you next week again, as does the star dolphin or whale. And the angelic being offers to stay with you or simply meet you again next week. And so those of you that have agreed to be anchors, just remember a small, thin amount of this white light or this white thread from source will run 24/7 into your human body. And then once a day, you will take 5 minutes and let it in silence and let it release into the earth. Let it release into the earth. Ideally, imagining that you have transported to this same location, the same country and place of nature. Ooh, whoa. And so see or feel now as your golden disc brings you back to your own time and space. All right, so someone says a new person to be an anchor will listen to the 2 previous recordings anytime. No, today is the last day that I think. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. I don't know that after today that they can be new anchors. I'm not sure because there's something in that energy. So if someone came today and listened, and then they have to go back and listen to last week. If you're letting someone else know, then they'd need to listen to both of them. Yes, they said to invite others, but I don't think there's a long time to invite others. They're not going to be doing, I don't think. So this will be the last week you can invite others. After this week, you won't be able to, because they don't want to start adding new anchors at that point. You can still come to the meditations and be part of the co-creation that way, but not being an anchor. Releasing the energies into the earth, meaning within a few inches below their feet or somewhere within a foot. It doesn't really matter. It is going down into the, it is just collecting in the earth. So whether it's just below your feet or within a foot, it doesn't really matter. It will collect with the other energies that were already formed. All right. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next Tuesday. And so that will be on the 21st of May, and that is at 4 p.m. Pacific. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.